So one important aspect is motivation, and this whole concept, when you learn in the course about the suffering and samsara and hell beings and that and these, if these are not to motivate, then these are useless. Better not study. Better study on what the concept of the whole concept of the mindset of the bodhicitta is. So there's two ways to practice. One way is through the practice of the three principal aspects of the path. When we talk about the three principal aspects of the path, then it's all to do with the self-cherishing view. Me, I'm suffering, I'm doing this, I'm aging, I'm having that, I'm having sickness. So this is through the practice of the three principal aspects, and this has a little bit less to do with the motivation to develop, but then through what do we say, internalizing. So the practice of the three principal aspects is through internalizing. So internalizing in the sense that if we understand that the concept of suffering is constant, is never ending, through the understanding of the concept of impermanence. Within the concept of impermanence, there is a lot of different things we need to integrate. So anyway, today I think we will go through the first concept, which is this integration. Then tomorrow I was thinking maybe we will go through the concept that I was saying, where is more motivation. So I was trying to calculate how to present. So today we'll go through the integration part. So within the integration part, I think, like I said, the first aspect of integration is to understanding. It's similar to the Four Noble Truths. Shepa is to understand. Yes, the first concept is always understanding. Without understanding, there's no application. Without application, there's no result. Without result, there's no attainment. So this is a cause and effect, as we say. So the first aspect, understanding. With that, I think with the first, with today's topic, I think it has a lot to do with understanding yourself. As human beings, as beings itself, the nature of beings, the nature of someone who has a conscious existing awareness, the consciously existing awareness that is aware, sort of like continuously, constantly. And that awareness that we have, it changes from time to time. Sometimes, I mean, the awareness of being alive is there. The awareness that movement, the awareness of the five senses. Some say six senses, but generally five senses. So this awareness is there. No matter how much you try to neglect it, it's always there. So because of these awarenesses, then the sense of being alive is always also there. When we say, when we define the definition of the mind, Seshi Rigpa, Selwa means clear. Rigpa means to be able to grasp. The mind is able to, when the eye consciousness through the eye, what do we say? Eye consciousness and the eye, what do we say? Eye organ. So through the eye organ, when the eye consciousness is functioning, then it's able to see form, shape, so on and so forth. When it sees form, shape, and so on and so forth, the external colors, then that is when the what do we say, when the awareness sort of like picks it up. And that reflection of the awareness is what is being consciously implemented within the mindset. So when you study the mind and mental factors, very clearly inside that. So within the secondary mind and the primary mind, the whole functioning of the consciousness. Now, when you take one step back from that and you just say, okay, I'm aware of myself. I'm aware that I have my hands. I'm aware that I have feelings, that I feel cold, that I feel hot, so on and so forth. Then that one is the sense that we have. So within that sense, then there is a very, very deep reflection in regards to the I. There's me, my, the sense of I, me, and my. So That one, I think, is the core implementation of what is existent within ourselves. I mean, it can be, it's maybe not necessarily what we call ultimate truth, but conventionally this is what we absorb, and that observation of the mind is what we sense as the I. Right? So this is again, I think, a little bit important, because with that sense, if you don't understand where the sense of the I is coming from, then we are not working with something that is established, right? So in order to work with it, the establishment is important. So therefore, the establishment is necessary. So first thing, establishing the I, the sense of the I, the me, the my. The me and my is a little bit, I think, easier, because they say, oh, my hand, my child, my mother, my father, is a little bit easier. But then the first step always in integrating, what do we say, producing the concept of the I. Then through that I think, then through that I, you get a sense of aliveness. I always say being alive is based on the concept of time and moment. It flickers. Yeah. One moment you feel, oh yeah, I'm alive. Second moment you feel, when you feel everything is down, then you feel, oh, no, I'm not here. Or no, the sense of me being here is sort of like, what do we say, down. So these concepts change in its own, what do we say, meticulous way in some ways. But then coming back to the form, then through the understanding of that, then we understand the nature of human being. Yeah, I always mention, we are very, very, very interesting creatures. Because even though we know what is necessary in our mind, sometimes because of our, what we call, destructive emotions, then we neglect what is important, and we concentrate on what is maybe important in momentary times, but not important ultimately. And this is why we lack self-confidence. This is why we our dependence on others' judgment and others, what we say, colored, others, what is the word? Others, perception. Yeah, perception. Others' perception matters so much. Too much, to the point that we completely let go of the awareness of self, the I. In some practices in Dharma, in Buddhism, I think a little bit more to do with the Vajrayana practice and the Tantric practice. And oh yeah, self-grasping attitude is bad. You need to let go of the self-grasping attitude. Oh yeah, sometimes this is, I think, a little bit too much. When the mind is not ready and you let go of yourself, the consequences can be very, very, very severe. And this is where depression, anxiety, and all of these other things, nowadays happening all over the place. This is where it comes from. Negligence of the self, negligence of the I. Like I said, we are our nature of being comes into form by truly understanding the conventional existence of the I. This is where love exists for us. Maybe not ultimately. The ultimate form of love is completely different from what we feel love is. And this one, I think, quite experimentally, we can say quite clearly, when you fall in love, when we have a general relationship, where does the love exist in the relationship? Based on the senses. Whether it's benefit for the I or not, that one you still need to consider. Right? Yeah. Next time you fall into love, in relationship, then first your mind is pick it up. How is this beneficial to the I, the existing I? That's a good question, I think. Something to contemplate upon. Yeah? How is this relationship beneficial to the self, the existing of the self-grasping, the I, the true existence of the I, the conventional truth existence of the I that I feel? This is a good experiment you should do. I think from that, I think you will start to understand that the I is actually not very related to the, in regards to that. It's more to do with the my and me, the senses. Yeah, focused on the senses and satisfying the senses, that's where then all these things come into existence. Same thing with food. Not to, if you go to some place where there is, when there is, what is it, famine, yeah. If you go to some place where there is famine, then you understand that the nature of food doesn't matter, as long as it's food, good enough. In some places, I watched a documentary, in some places they even make what do you call, clay bread to satisfy the mind of the hunger. Very thin sheets of clay bread, and when they break and eat, they feel satisfaction. So you start to understand the I, you understand a lot of different things of the I that normally is not there. Especially when there's this saying, what we say, at your lowest point you are open to the greatest change. In those times, then when you start questioning the I tends to change its form over and over again. So just figuring out the existence of your own existence, your own I, when in relation with the feelings, when in relation with concepts, when in relation with views, yeah, the application of all of this, you already start to see that the I you once thought was the I is completely now, forming in different ways. So I think this first part important, because we as human beings, we are born through love. Yeah, we grow up. The more love in our life, the better we what do we say? Flourish. Yeah, the more love there is in our life, the more we flourish. Then at the end of the day, when we reach a certain age and time is near, then there's fear, a little bit of fear here and there. And that is because of losing those loved ones. So that is in our nature. Our whole life is, just, what is it, constantly in relation with the sense of care. Yeah, I always like to say the three, I think I mentioned last time also, the three core aspects of whatever is existence within ourselves, and that matters, has to be genuine, sincere, and unconditional. And that is, I think, very, very clear. This is what our mind seeks. Yeah? When it's unconditional, whoa, then we feel alive. When someone is doing something unconditionally, then that's where, that's where the true joy starts to appear. And genuine and sincerity, definitely, in the sense where, where the application of your own action is also important. It makes a huge difference in the action itself. Yeah, whether I'm doing something genuinely or whether I'm doing something not genuinely, we say, no, you go to a cloth or a shopping mall, yeah, big shopping mall. Then you have what you call people who look after you. Sellers? Yeah, sellers. Then some people, they smile at you. Then you look at their smile, then you can tell whether it's genuine or not. whether the smile, they're giving the smile, then it's, there's some kind of thought behind it, or yeah. Then the moment you pay and you buy, then smile disappears. So there is a difference in all of that, the sincerity and the genuinity as well. So anyway, coming back to that, when we look at the I think in Buddhism, not just in Buddhism, I think in practice itself, taking care of the I at the basis is the most important part. I might be going against a lot of teachings here, but like I said, the teachings, most of the teachings, dependent on the level of practice in regards to the teachings. If you go to Tantrayana, the teachings are very harsh. It's like the I cannot exist at all. And this is what a lot of people, like I said, nowadays, teachers come, lamas come, rinpoches come, gurus come, they teach, oh yeah, you need to let go of that. And this is creating some problem within society itself. I mean, we can see that. I have also seen a lot of people who have sacrificed their whole life. And the teacher comes and says, oh yeah, you need to practice renunciation, you need to let go of this, let go of that, become a saint, a wandering saint, go into the mountains, into a cave. And people actually do it. Great practitioners, in one sense, yes, great practitioners. They actually do it. But then when the mind and the support of the view is not there, then the achievement is low. And when the achievement is low, and at the end of the day, you end up with nothing. No house, no car, no family, no money. This is not practice. Shanti Deva, Bodhisattva Avatara, says within the Bodhisattva Avatara, it says, if you are a real practitioner, if you are a real fighter, then you can't just say, oh yeah, I know how to fight, I know karate, I know kung fu. Not good enough. You need to be, when the situation comes, then you need to be able to fight. No? If you are a warrior, then you need to be in war to prove that you are a warrior. So same thing, you go hide in the Himalayas, in the mountains, somewhere in the cave. How is that, how is that implementing the practice? So anyway, through this concept, I think very clearly that application of the practice is constant. Yeah, another thing that His Holiness always mentions that keeps sticking into my mind is, in the cultural, traditional sense, then a lot of people, they go, during functions, during special days, then they go to the monastery, they offer, they kata, this, offer prayers, offer all of this. Then they say, oh yeah, I did my, what we say, my quota. I did my quota, now I can do whatever I want. Then after coming out of the monastery again, then back to square one. No practice there. This is not the method of implementing. No. Method of implementing is truly understanding. Through understanding, what happens? Conviction starts to build. Yeah? Then through conviction, that's where true practice comes. So I think mainly focus always to build conviction. As long as you have conviction, then you have nothing to fear. Some people generally in the like I said, in the traditional cultural sense, then there's also a fear. A lot of things work out of fear. I think in many other religions, the fear thing is a huge, what we say, huge promoter of the practice itself. If it's someone who doesn't listen, then fear is good. If it's someone who doesn't contemplate, who doesn't have the ability to contemplate, then fear is good. At least fear keeps him in line, right, in check, sort of thing. But if you are aware, if you have the ability to contemplate, if you have the ability to understand, if you have the ability to make sense of things, then fear, why is fear necessary? Fear is not necessary at all. I think it holds you back instead of keep moving you forward. Then this one again, back in the traditional cultural aspect, there is that, when you are in Kopan, maybe you also saw, right, outside Kopan, here also, you have the wheel of life right here. Then His Holiness used to say in Tibet, the people from the village, they come to the monastery. Then one monk is outside the monastery with a long stick, and then she says, if you do good, then you go up here, and here you have happiness, and your wishes get fulfilled. Then if you do bad, then you go down here, and here they burn you, they stab you, they cook you. So don't let fear rule your life. You get nowhere. You let fear rule your life, then constantly, even during the time of death, then one very, very interesting aspect of our life is uncertainty. Uncertainty? Yeah? Am I saying it right? Yeah? Uncertainty. So one very interesting aspect of our life is uncertainty. 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 Okay. So one very interesting aspect of our life is uncertainty. And that concept comes from the whole concept of impermanence. And this is very, what do we say? We need to establish this understanding, I think. If it's impermanent, then it's cause. It is a cause. If it's impermanent, then it is an effect. If it's impermanent, then it is continuity. If it is impermanent, then it is karma. We have so many different words, but all synonyms. Just the way how we look at different. A synonym, same thing. Yeah, I define, karma and cause. Show me something that is a cause and that's not a karma. Nothing there. Show me something that is an effect but not a cause. You can't find. Show me something that is impermanent and not a cause. Same thing. Continuity, impermanence, effect, cause, karma, synonyms. Just how we use it is different. Yeah, karma, we use an excuse many times. Why did this not happen? Karma. So karma we like to use as an excuse. Yeah, cause and effect we like to use in a very general thing, like I push this cup, it falls. This is cause and effect. Yeah, I put what is that? Zinc. I don't know all these chemicals in different things. Then different reaction. Yeah, cause and effect. Continuity. My hair used to be short like this. Now it's long like this. Continuity. So we like to use it in different means, but all same word. All same word. There's no difference in all of that. So based on that concept, we understand the establishment very clearly. The establishment has to come from understanding one of the truths. I think impermanence is one of the truths itself. What do we say? The basic truth in our own existence is impermanence. And that's where uncertainty comes. If it's impermanent, then it's cause. If it's cause, then it's effect. And if it's effect, then it's karma. And therefore, its uncertainty is also there. I think that's also another way of saying the same thing. So, interesting aspect, uncertainty. Uncertainty, based on that, then fear. We like to use fear. Do you know where you will go after you die? No. Now I have many things that I can show to you in order to implement the understanding of utilizing the fear of uncertainty. But if you understand cause and effect, if you understand, if I drop a ball onto a glass, the glass will shatter. Heavy metal ball onto a thin glass, then the glass will shatter. I know that. We all know that. Now, if you know that, then the awareness is there. Then why should the fear be there? Something to think about. So if you truly understand the aspect of karma, cause and condition, then the fear should not be there. Because uncertainty is on the concept of uncertainty of cause and effect. If you are not sure, if I mix chemical A and chemical B, an explosion will happen. If you are not sure, then the fear should be there. But if you are sure that that the explosion is going to happen, then why should fear be there? So in the same aspect, I think through understanding, utilizing the understanding, what do we say, the what a basis of cause and effect, then you can truly let go of this concept of uncertainty. Same thing in the traditional and cultural concept. If you live a good, ethical, what do we say, genuine, sincere, unconditional, an ethical means in life, then fear of the lower realm should not be there. Cause and effect, right? Now, if you have been a little bit naughty here and there, and maybe then you can say, oh yeah, then. But then again, within the practice itself, there's methods of confession. There's methods of, what do we say, removing obstacles. That there's methods of, what do we say, purifying, as we say. Then again, when you know there's a method of purifying and you establish the method, then again, the fear should not be there. As clear as that, I think. So just understanding life itself in that form, through the perspective of this understanding, I think huge difference in our own view of how things should be and how things should not be. Yeah, so I think the first establishment is that. Then through that, then now it's awakening the what do we say, the I, the existence of the I. Yeah, dependent origination, yes. But does that mean no independence? No. Yeah? Through the concept, again, through the concept of cause and effect, full independence. If you know the concept of cause and effect and karma and continuity and all of that, then you have, I think this is one method of realizing true freedom. True life. Sometimes we say, oh, no freedom, no that, no this, I don't have a choice. I say, you always have a choice. No matter what situation, you always have a choice. Some choice might be hard, but still it's a choice. At every corner of life, you have a choice. And this is realizing, I think, the true potential of our existence in some sense. Utilizing the opportunity or the freedom, utilizing the freedom of choices that we have in order to, and utilizing the understanding of impermanence, understanding of cause and effect, and understanding that the freedom of choice, and combining these three things together in order to make sense of what true existence is. Oh, not ultimately true existence, but conventional truth existence is. And this is, I think, the first method of truly embracing. Because without understanding our own nature, then understanding others' nature is even harder. Then the concept of dependence, again, though the concept of dependent origination, the origination is dependent, though the origination is dependent, the concept of cause and effect and conditioning and karma, again, is of independent choices. Based on independent choices, then these starts to happen. Right? So this is, I think, an important establishment in regards to developing the mind of a bodhicitta. Third thing, always starts with the I. Yeah, no matter what. If you try to let go of the I at the beginning, then like I said, then you're going into more of a problem than a solution. So always consideration of the independent I that we feel, the sense of the independent I that we feel, always considering that. Then through that, then the motivation is built. And Dakshin Nyamje is a very, very amazing practice of the Bodhisattvas. It's called exchanging oneself with others. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah, exchanging oneself with others. If you don't understand the oneself, then there's no exchange. Yeah, bottom line, yeah. Yeah. If you don't understand your own value, then what are you going to exchange with others? Yeah, it's true, right? So understanding your value is important. So then you can say, okay, now I'm ready to give because I'm of this much value. Then without understanding others' value, then what are you receiving? Nothing to receive there again. Then the exchange cannot happen, right? So even in that practice of exchanging oneself with others, which I think, if you know Kyabje Lama Thubten Sopa Rinpoche was such an amazing practitioner of Dakshin Nyamje. During Rinpoche had, what do you say? Stroke. When Rinpoche had stroke, the what do we say, the medical practice, the medical practitioners, they want Rinpoche to do all of these different exercises, to make, what is it, to make the function, circulate, I don't know, function happen. So they make Rinpoche do all of these different exercises. Rinpoche never. What's the use? So during in Kupan, then we got an idea. Yeah, chair practice. You heard about chair practice? Chair practice is practice of the what do you say? Like practice of death. Yeah, going to the cemetery and practicing, and what do we say? Liberating the death, and also practicing in regards to awakening the experience of death within ourselves, something like that. So this is for all mother sentient beings, right? So then we convince Rinpoche, Rinpoche, do chair practice. Rinpoche, even when his hand cannot move, he's still like this. Such amazing practice, right? So like I said, the motivation, aspiration, integration, this all comes from that same aspect. When you see value in things, then we are willing to exchange. We exchange gold for money because we see value in gold. Things like that. So same concept, I think. If you cannot validate the I, how important, how precious the I is, then even if you go and exchange, I don't think that there's much sense in exchanging. So important first step, important establishment of the I, the value of the I. And this is why even in Lamrim, one of the first teachings after, what do we say, Guru devotion, is in regards to establishing the I, precious human rebirth. Why is it precious? Why is it important? All of that. So what time? Good. We're good. So yeah, so through that, I think the first steps of developing, later on bodhicitta, practice of bodhicitta, yes, but this is the first establishment that we need to do. Then the second one, I think, in regards to the mind, understanding the mind is extremely important. This, so far until now, what we have gone through is understanding nature itself, whether it be the ultimate nature, whether it be the conventional nature, whether it be the nature of the I, or whatever it may be. So establishing that is the first thing. Then establishing the mind, so that you understand the mind, because now the mind is a whole different thing again. Yeah. Yeah, mind is very easily manipulated. Emotions mean other. Okay, first of all, conditions manipulate the mind. Then second thing, external others manipulate the mind. Then internally, emotions also manipulating the mind. When you have, when emotions are high, then the logic, every logic, that reasoning that comes up in the mind is through the emotion. Even if we have a sense, oh, maybe it's not right, then emotionally, no, it's right, yes, it is good. Must be done like that. Yeah, if the emotion is anger, then same thing. Oh, maybe I shouldn't punch him. No, you should punch him. This is what emotions does. This is very strong manipulation. So understanding our mind, we understand the core existence of where this particular what is it individual mindsets that can create the link between true logic and established logic, yeah, ultimate logic and conventional logic. This is where the whole thing is going to happen. In our life, you go throughout your life, you make many crazy decisions, then we say, yeah, I've done crazy things when I was young, yeah, things like that. These are all the same thing. Conditions changing the logic behind everything. One day you are saying, yeah, it's good. The second day you say, no, it's not good. Tomorrow you're saying, maybe here, maybe there. So logic is an important aspect that we need to establish before entering the Bodhisattva's path. Yeah, because the Bodhisattva path is very logical. Emotion and sense is involved, yes, but it's not the emotion and sense that is empowering the logic. It's the logic that is empowering the emotion and senses. Now, this is a little bit of a difference there. So, second thing, establishing understanding of the mind, what the nature of the mind is. Yeah? Then also the possibility of enlightenment. If you cannot establish the concept of enlightenment, the possibility of the concept of enlightenment, some say, oh yeah, well, ultimately we are all supposed to, get enlightened in some way, somewhere, some means. Yeah? But this ultimately, now I just do my own thing and see where I go. Then someone, the aspiration is so strong, the emotional, the connection is so strong, then they say, oh yeah, I'm willing to do anything to get enlightened in this lifetime. I think Buddha's story is so amazing. When Buddha, 2600 years, when Buddha was roaming the earth, before achieving nirvana or enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, he left the kingdom quite early in search of answers. So he was so, what do we say, so eager to get answers that he was willing to do anything. So between him going to the 6 year what is a fasting retreat and leaving the kingdom, in between that, what did he do? he went and he searching all kinds of different means. Some say, oh, you stand in the sun for 24 hours, you get enlightened, you get an answer. He stood in the. Some say you sleep on the nail bed. Some say you walk on fire. So he did all of this. He went and he experimented. And then finally he met this guy who said, oh yeah, you eat 1 grain of rice a day and sit under a tree. You eventually get an answer. That's what he did. He ate 1 glass of rice and sat under a tree. 6 years. Then after 6 years, I like to make it a little bit drastic. Whether that's the true story or not, but I think someday after 6 years, then no washing the body starts to smell, no standing up or anything, so the flesh under here starts to rot, then rotting smell, then the hair is long, nails are long, a lot of discomfort, pain here, pain there, the bones pain, back pain, leg pain. So cannot concentrate at all. So ultimately, one of the, I think this is again such an amazing story, because this is what I regard as achieving the path to the bodhicitta practice. Yeah? Realizing the existence of the I, importance of the I. Because when Buddha cannot sit down, pain here, pain there, smelly, that, this, then okay, I need to get up, I need to wash myself. So he got up, he went to the river bank. Yeah, then in the river bank he tried to wash himself, but no muscle, all skin and bone only. So then the river carried him down the river. Yeah, so down the river. I think Rinpoche, Kyabje Lama Tutu Zopa Rinpoche used to tell quite a similar story. The river took him. Then he said, "Oh, this Lama Zopa Rinpoche that everyone has been saying, oh, Rinpoche, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, so amazing. This is the end of, finish now." This was the end of, and this is what the thought that Rinpoche, the thought that came into Rinpoche's mind when he experienced something similar. So I think something similar also happened to Buddha as well when he was here. Finish. my path to searching this ultimate answer, finish now. Luckily, mangrove, the tree grow into the river like this. So the path crossed a mangrove, and that's how he was saved. He got stuck on one of the branches. So that was a very important sort of like what do we say, knock on the head sort of thing. Yeah, realization of, oh, I need to take care of myself first. Without taking care of myself, how am I going to take care of others? Without liberating myself, how am I going to liberate others? This is sense, I think. So first sense has to come from there. Bodhicitta, same contribution, same sense. Your ability to help others, your ability to liberate others, your ability to liberate yourself is coming from yourself. So this is why it's precious. The birth is precious. Your existence is precious. Without understanding the preciousness of the existence, people regard you as just another boy, just another girl, just another person like this. Then because of that influence, then you also, I'm useless, I'm that, I'm this. That's not the motivation. That's not the mindset that a bodhisattva has. Bodhisattva is full of confidence, full of energy, fully motivated. Yeah, and what do we say? Willing to do anything in regards to achieving. This is the mindset of a bodhisattva. True winner, we call it, right? Nowadays there are people who, what you saw, what do you call that? Like lango. In the Tibetan we say like lango. Bull. Bull. Yeah. See something, then doesn't care what's in the middle, just go straight. So that kind of mindset, strong. Not, what do we say, evaded. Not letting anything, not let anything coming between your path and your ability to achieve. Like a bull. So I think this is the first thing that we need to establish in understanding the mind of the bodhisattva. During the practice, while achieving, then that's a different kind of challenge. Now has more to do with integration of practice. One of the most amazing practices is to integrate, which you have been through, I'm sure, in the course, the 6 paramitas, or they say the 10 paramitas. Such amazing. This is, I think, one of the fine lines of the practice of bodhicitta, is learning to implement the 6 paramita to begin with, and then thap top malam ishe, thap method, top strength malam, strong prayer or wish or desire. Some don't like it when I say desire because that goes against the ethical Buddhist concept. But still, whatever. We are conventional beings, we use conventional terms. But anyway, that one. Yeah. Then Yishe is the mindset. Yigisheba. Yeah, mental factor. Yeah. So these four at the end, then to begin with, then through generosity, jimba, chuldim, ethical or moral and ethical means, behavior. Yeah. Within, when you talk about, now every topic has its own whole, it has a whole concept behind it, but then to understand, yeah, to understand generosity, then in the paramita, concept of the paramita is applied. In order to apply morality and ethics, then the teaching of Vinaya is applied. Yeah? Within Vinaya itself, you have so many levels of different Vinayas. This is why we have vows: Bodhisattva vow, Tantric vow, lay vow, what do you say, Sangha vow, and within the Sangha vow, there's 3 different levels of vows again. So these are applications of morals and ethics. And this moral and ethic application has nothing to do with religion or nothing to do with concept or nothing to do with all of that. It's a means based on the truth, ultimate truth, and the conventional truth. That's it. And the establishment of the true ultimate, the true truth is very clear. Conventional truth within our own mind. Ultimate truth, things that we cannot debate with. The existence of permanence within this ball. This is a metal ball, it lasts. Yeah, I once went to one of these, singing ball shops here in Tamil. Someone wanted to buy a singing ball, so I went with them. Then we had a big debate in regards to how long it lasts. He say, oh, this is very strong, this is permanent. This is how he was trying to sell. Oh, this is very strong, you can, he was showing also, he was throwing around and saying, no, nothing can damage it, very strong, the metal is good, and I said, but it's impermanent. So we had a long debate. It was quite fun actually. So anyway, the concept, based on the ultimate reality and the conventional reality, that's where the whole Vinaya is established. So it has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with faith, nothing to do with our own, what do we say, different types of faith. It has nothing to do with that. Then Seba. Seba is in regards to awareness, mind and mental factors. Awareness is something that hard to establish, yes, but we know how useful it is. The less you are aware, the more problems you tend to fall into. In life is as well. Yeah, life is like that. The more you are aware, the less problems you fall into. The less you are aware, the more problems you tend to go into. So there is that as well. So patience is truly in regards to developing awareness, and that has to do with, I think, the practice of the what we call 70 topics. So that is mentioned within the 70 topics as well. Soba. Then Jundu. Jundu is what? Effort. So when we talk about effort, again, lots of different kinds of effort, but the effort that the Bodhisattva talk about is more focused on joyful effort. Yeah. I think last time also I started with the concept of joy, which I really like, because at the end of the day, without joy, everything is hard. Even practice becomes hard. Yeah? Without joy, living is hard. Without joy, working is hard. Without joy, I think nearly, if you can think about something that is not hard without joy, let me know. Yeah, okay. So Yeah. So that one, I think. Anyway, where was I? No, before that. Before we walked into the no. Before we walked into the paramita. Oh yeah, the eyes, the establishing of the eye. Yeah. So no matter in what means or in what method you want to apply, first establishing the potential of the eye, yeah, is extremely important. Even on the Bodhisattva's path, Bodhisattva's path is not about letting go of the eye. If you have that concept, then I think little bit of a tweaking you need to do in that concept. Because the concept of the Bodhisattva arises from understanding the potential of the eye. Yeah, so that is there. Then through understanding that, then utilizing, yeah, then I think it's all about what do we say, skillfully utilizing what we have in front of us. Someone tells you to utilize something that is not in front of you, then how are you going to utilize that? That makes no sense. In some practices, they depend so much on what do we say, on worldly practices. Yeah, worldly deities, worldly nagas, worldly this, worldly that, all kinds of world power is there, definitely. There's power in everything. As human beings, we have immense power over other things. We have immense power over the mind, especially not our own mind, especially others' mind. This is how business works. This is the whole concept of business, is about empowering others' mind in order to gain benefit to yourself. This is what business is. So we have that power. Then in other realms, within the realm of the animals, even when it comes to nagas, immense power, even more so than us in some ways. Even if they are, in some sense, from the lower realms, they have immense power. You look at a fierceful dog with a long fang, big dog, what do you call? Donkey. Mastiff. Huge mastiff, big fang, long. They have much power than us. When they're on chain, then we think, oh yeah, he's a dog. We let go of the chain. We're running for our lives, much more powerful than us, right? Then even we look in the demigod realm and the god realm, they have so much mundane abilities. There's a good reason why I call it mundane. But at the end of the day, so much mundane ability. Then because these mundane abilities can somehow help us achieve something, in our daily life, from here to there, with our business, without, when there's harm coming, then harming others back, these we can utilize. And therefore the dependence becomes so strong. Same thing with pujas, I think. You do one puja, something goes right, then you think, oh, that's the way. Now I figured it out. Then always puja, doing puja for this, puja for that, puja for this. And puja and all of this is, we are tweaking conditions here and there, but the conditions that we are tweaking are very, like, what do we say, temporary conditioning we are doing. Ultimately, if the mind is not working in the right way, then ultimately, no matter how much puja you're doing, you're ending up at the same place at the end of the day. That's very clear. Same thing with business. You get a good employer, but if you're not willing to pay him enough, then at the end of the day, you say, I'm not working for you. End of your business. So the same concept is there. The more you want to receive, the more you need to give. So these are methods. These can help in removing obstacles and so on and so forth. It can be useful, but dependence is another thing. I think it's same as painkillers. Yeah, people when they have an accident, you take a painkiller, then relax. Yeah, no more pain. But then you start becoming dependent on it. Then even later, even when everything's healed, everything's okay, still need painkiller. Then the dependent becomes so strong that you're willing to do very, very crazy stuff in order to gain the painkiller. Yeah, you need the money. So then in order to get the money, then you're robbing, you're stealing, you're stabbing, you're killing. And this is more to do with full dependence, addiction. Yeah, they call it. So again, addiction not just with painkiller, even in our own mental. This is why I say understanding the mind is very important, because within the mind there are so many these things that we depend on in order to sometimes subside. Yeah, another thing that we tend to do that in regards to our own understanding in the thing is desire. We work with our desires, and if we are able to utilize our desires in a certain way in our own benefit, and that also not temporary benefit but ultimate benefit, that is something that can be considered. But then you use the desire in a completely wrong way. That again is same form of addiction, right? Make sense? So yeah, so what time? 11:40.
The break is 30.
11:30. Okay. So yeah, so application of that. So this morning I think we went through a lot in regards to, I think in regards to shaping our what do we say, base in order to develop bodhicitta later on. Yeah. So the basis, these are the important bases, necessary pillars in order to build your house. So important bases, these are the important bases. And in that concept, I think introducing understanding, I think the conventional understanding of the eye becomes quite important, because you feed the eye and then the eye reacts to that feeding. You just need to know the concept of balance. I think that's an important aspect. Again, another important aspect that we need to learn, that everything exists in coexistence, in dependence, on the value of dependence. The more the more there is sharing and giving and caring and loving and that and this, then the more peaceful the mind is. Yeah. If the mind is not at peace, then no matter what you tell it to do, you cannot work with it. This is the nature of the mind again. Our own mind, very, very, what is it, stubborn. Very stubborn in so many different fields. Especially when it comes to logic and reasoning. The logic and reasoning that it likes to follow is in a whole different aspect. And it changes every day. Today you feel good, working 10 hours, no problem. Tomorrow you don't feel so good, working 1 hour becomes a problem. So this is the nature of the mind in the sense. So to understand it, in order to build the relationship, I always like to mention important part, one of the important aspects of practice, especially in practice, is, I think, developing and understanding the connection between you and your mind. This one we lack to do, I think, a lot. A part of us, so okay, no problem. When it comes to our hand, we put cream, we put polish, we do that, we do this. We go outside, we come in, we wash it. Yeah, same thing with the hair. We put dye, we put that, we put colors. Yeah, so now we make it curly, that, this, we straighten it. We're taking very good care of these things. Face, same thing with the face. You put our cream, that, night cream, day cream, morning cream. Go outside, put sunscreen. Yeah. So we are doing a good job of taking care of all of these different parts. How about your mind? What do you do to take care of your mind? How much do you do to take care of your mind? I think in regards to family, I don't know if this is true or not, but then it seems like the what do we say, in the family, there's one kid that all the other kids like to bully. There's something like that. So this is the same thing up here. No, this mind is all different. Your siblings, then this is the sibling that everyone likes to bully. You hit your hand, then the mind gets cold. You did it, you were not aware, you didn't take care, you did that, this. Yeah, something happened to your body, then your mind gets cold. Something doesn't go wrong, then you blame your mind. So he's the, what do you call, punching bag. People like to use this part as the punching bag rather than taking care of it. Well, this part I think is the most important part that you actually need to take care more. Yeah, the effort we put in regards to taking care of mind is limited compared to other things that we take care of. Yeah, so this is important. So I always say, take care of your mind like your own child. If you learn to nurture your mind, take care of it, give it the right amount of care, love, sincerity, genuinity, unconditional, effort, then you truly start seeing yourself grow, mature, develop. So through this method, then you have established base. Yeah. Now, 15-minute question answer. Then we go second part where now we go more into the practice itself.
Do we have a minute?
Yeah.
Are you going to bring a microphone? Just for people online. You speak loud for him. You can just speak.
Okay. Can you summarize the 3 main points you talked about earlier? I just want to make sure I have them down. The first one was just understanding yourself. I think the second one was understanding the mind. Is that right? And then what was the third one?
Three what?
I thought
balance. You said balance.
balance. No.
What are you talking? What did you say?
I thought earlier when you started speaking, I thought you talked about having 3 main points to start thinking about. And the first one was understanding yourself. Establishing.
Yes,
the
yes,
I,
yes.
Right, and then understanding the I.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. Were those them?
Establishing. Second one is the mind.
Yeah.
And third one is balance.
Balance. Okay.
Balance between the mind and the I.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I guess it's kind of a 2-part question.
We do one part at a time.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, you said if we're able to use desire as a permanent benefit, not as a temporary benefit. But what do you mean by that exactly? Like, can you give an example?
So if I give you example, desire, I think, comes out of practice. Yeah. So first thing, we need to develop understanding of what desire is. Desire is an what we say is an emotion in some ways. Let's say it's something like hatred, desire, attachment. It's a form of an emotion, right? So desire is developed through practice. I always like to think practice as habitually built. Yeah. So desire, if you are temporary concept of desire, satisfying desire is temporarily satisfying the desire is a means of dealing with desire. You satisfy it, right? Once satisfied, then the desire disappears and then it comes back again. The more you tend to do that, the stronger the desire starts to grow. Yeah. So let's say anger, same thing, right? Anger arises one time today. Yeah, arises. If the arising of the anger starts to become more and more, and this is how it works, right? Today anger, then maybe disappear. 5 minutes, then finish, anger finish. Then tomorrow again, let's say the two of us, we meet, we had an argument. So today anger, 5 minutes, anger with you. I have anger with you. Then after that I go, I meet my friends, we are talking, there's the anger gone now. Then tomorrow I come back here and I see you, oh, the anger again, 5 minutes. Yeah. So if I make that a habit, let's say we meet up maybe 10 days. We had a 10 days course here. So we 10 days, every time I see you, anger rising. After 10 days, even if you didn't show up one day, when I come to the course, the anger starts to arise by itself. And this is what practice is. Practice is habitually built. When it first arises, then the logics, like I said, the logics are always supporting the concept behind it. I don't like this guy because he argued with me. I don't like his face. I don't like his, that and this and this. The logic is there in that sense. But whether the logic is valid or not, there's a whole completely different thing. If you really sit down without the anger and start validating the logic that's behind it, you'll start to see, that makes no sense. Yeah, this is why people, when they're angry, they fight, then later they come back and say, that was a very petty reason to fight over. This is true logic kicking in. But at that moment when, emotions were high, when there was, people involved, this, that, then so this is how, same thing in regards to desire as well. Yeah, this is how it's built. This is what practice is. So temporary is no consideration of the concept of cause and conditioning. That means if I'm angry with you, I go to you and I punch you. I'm not thinking of the consequences. And this is what a lot of things happen. People don't want to go to jail. Definitely don't want to go to jail. Who wants to go to jail? People don't kill each other and do that and do this in order to go to jail. The action happens there and then they end up going to jail as a result. So you start to see how the mind is working already. It's not thinking long terms. It's thinking momentary desire, momentary anger, momentary hatred, how to solve that. And that makes you end up in a long-term thing. Yeah, family, what do you call family feuds? Yeah, in the old days, they used to have family feuds. Even up in the Himalaya region, also even in Tibet. So if by accident one of your family killed one of my family, then within the family is a family court that you have to go and kill someone from their family. An eye for an eye, they say in the English word as well. This is temporary. But then the second, again, third. Yeah, once I go and do that, then again from that family there's a responsibility that this feud needs to continue or has to happen again. So same thing in that sense. So the concept of temporary solving and the concept of ultimately solving or the long-term solving is two completely different things. We start to see the results are two completely different things. Because there are certain kinds of consequences, that's why the awareness is higher. Yeah, makes sense?
Yeah, and that's sort of like, so my other question, which, is kind of connected to this, is when you talk about like anger and desire and attachment, right? All of these things. Is this something that like ultimately you're aiming to eliminate, or you're aiming to like understand and like control? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think reform is a good word, I think. Yeah. So if you have a child who is misbehaving all the time, you don't think about eliminating the child. You think about reforming the child. Yeah, I don't know. That makes sense. Yeah. So sort of like reforming sort of thing, right? So I think it's more. I don't know if that was a good example, but but something like that. When emotions are part of you, it's a part of your mind. Anger comes. If you destroy yourself because anger comes, then you're just destroying yourself completely. Anger comes. You need to know that is the nature of habituality, that anger comes. And when you understand that is the nature of habituality, that anger comes, then forgiveness also comes. If you start to think anger comes and it's bad and it's this and that and destructive and so on and so forth, then where's forgiveness? Forgiveness is disappeared then. So reforming is understanding the true nature of it, the core of it. Yeah. This is, I think, one of which we will talk about more later sessions in regards to the true practice of a bodhisattva. Yeah. Bodhisattva are taking on the, what we say, the load to liberate all mother sentient beings. And that includes, of course, the close ones, of course. Yeah, the ones that in the middle like this, then yes. And even the enemies, the ones on the other side, also you want to liberate them. If you cannot include them into your concept, then where's the concept of the bodhisattva? So in order to include something like your worst enemy in the concept of wanting to liberate them and help them and enlighten them, that's not easy. That's not easy without forgiveness. That's not easy without patience. That's not easy without the 10 paramitas, basically. So in order to do that, you need to reform the concept. No? Make sense? So something like that. Okay? Break time? Okay, I see you. Well, we have tea break or lunch break?
Tea break.
Tea break, okay.
Let's do 25 minutes, so we come back 5 to. Please.
Have some cookies, have some tea, relax, enjoy.